世界渡りするぞ。
変化を探してみましょう。変化を探してみましょう。
逃がさん。天に輝け。
無に帰るがいい。仕掛けます。
決める。
頼みます。
Oh, I fucked that up. Fucking explodey guy behind me has to explode. Oh, right. I keep forgetting about the fact that those guys leave bombs behind. Oh. I know I'm trying to earn things for you, Zav, but how narrow and linear your moves are is kind of pissing me off right now. Hello. Right, no. Nice. I have a work playlist that has a lot of video game songs on it, and a lot of those are also Falcom songs.
頼むぞ。心得た。せい。
Hello. Okay, I should know better than to try to walk with Zav out by now. Alright. Alright, I never explained. A spirit I'm using right now, his name is Zav. He's, a spear dude who is definitely not Izanagi no Okami from Persona 4. I don't know where you would get that idea. And he hits hard as fuck whenever he gets a critical hit. And when you use his skills, a circle pops up. And if you press the skill button again during the time that circle's on the screen, you get a lot of bonuses to how much fucking damage your attack does. Yeah, visually you can tell that I've pulled it off because an X will appear through the circle. Yeah, really, this dungeon, the floors and the enemies in them are kind of random. And I just sort of got a bunch of enemies that the spear sucks against. Okay, that was just bad timing on my... Okay, fuck off, giant penguin. You're annoying me now. Really, against those bomb guys, I want to be using, Izana here. Because when you proc her Reaper skills instant kill, they don't get to drop their bombs. And this is a relatively upgraded version of your starting one. What she likes is She's just a really big fan of, I think it's normal attacks. Yeah, she just likes attacks. She likes canceling out of animations using attacks. Well, for right now, I still mainly want to pick up stones for Zav. Freaking bombs. Well, Paralyze got me slowed down and I didn't execute in time. Alright, jackass. That was extremely rude. Does he? It's very weird to me that the enemies surrounded by mist in this dungeon aren't required to unlock access to the other world, since usually they are. Oh yeah, that's just... Oh, I think I know which dungeon this is based off. I keep forgetting about the bombs, because I am an idiot. How many stones am I up to? 4 for him.
世界渡りするぞ。
変化を探してみましょう。
気をつけて。
せい。ご分をもらった。
何も通さん。
助かったぜ。はっ。せい。任せるぞ。
この一戦で。
せい。せい。頼むぞ。心得た。せい。はっ。はっ。
先を感じる。
任せるぞ。
この一戦で。頼みます。
逃がさん。はっ。頼むぞ。心得た。せい。せい。
Okay, so is the gate from this area gonna be like all the way back where I started? No, of course it's gonna be along a completely different path I have yet to take.
世界を変えるか。
世界すらも
Oh, I can't be bothered with the particular species of trash mobs in this area with this particular weapon. Why am I running around like that when I can just unequip my weapon to move way faster? So the way this game works is... Let me see. Do we have speed marked on here? Okay, we do. So the rate at which you move with a particular demon equipped is based on their speed stat there. And essentially, the higher that bar is, the more of your default no weapon drawn movement speed you maintain when you're using them. Zav there actually has one of the slower movement speeds. Not the slowest. The slowest is the giant robot, unsurprisingly. I think Zav is like 70% or something like that. Oh, sweet, he's actually got 5 spear stones. So I'll come up here. Buy that. Alright, he's ranked up to master rank. Or is it not? No, he's only ranked up to 9. Jesus Christ. I like him, but finding excuses to use him can be difficult in areas like this with small enemies. Because he really prefers to fight, well, bigger enemies, or at least enemies with a larger horizontal hitbox, since he sometimes has issues where he whiffs. I could scour the whole place for treasure chests, which are almost always in the other world. I think we get, in this dungeon, you get a boss once every 5 floors. Though hopefully the other floors don't decide they're just going to pick one of the largest dungeons in the game. Okay, is it at least gonna... No, it's not gonna do me the kindness of even telling me which part of that dungeon this is based on. Now. Now we kill big arm guy. Yeah, as you can see, his combo actually works really well on enemies who aren't friggin' tiny. I really should mostly be exploring in this mode since it's where treasure chests spawn in. Those big dudes, they generally either inflict poison in the area around them, or spawn a bunch of very small minion soldiers. If I recall in the normal version of this area, I was gonna say, yeah, this is a side room that normally has a treasure chest in it, but Nope, no chest for me today. Though it is a dungeon filled with late-game enemies, which I don't mind, because the spear tends to do better against late-game enemies than early-game ones. In fact, if we're doing late game enemies, I wouldn't mind larger groups of them. I feel like this area's enemies are a lot more interesting in the normal world than in the Beyond. Let me just pop into the normal world and... about the same. Okay, that's... Okay, is there an option that I can toggle for this? Because... there is nothing for that. So the game tries to give you some degree of aim assist. Because this is really an action game made more for turn-based RPG fans. Back here. No, none of that. That Thunderball type move that those guys who are like 900% arms do is the reason I consider those guys the most dangerous enemy in the game for the most part. So those orbs track for fucking ever and do shitloads of damage. But I'm also playing on the highest difficulty, so the amount of damage they deal isn't really something I should complain about. So I guess at the moment, I could bitch about it if I wanted to. Since I technically don't have access to a monument, so I can't actually change the difficulty right now. Just keep my spear combo going. Because these arm dudes, for some reason, are just deathly allergic to the spear guy's combo. Like, the moment you catch them in it, they just can't escape. Like with shorter ranged weapon types, they will try to escape your combos if there's anything resembling a gap in them. But I guess they're just not programmed to try and escape at the kind of distance that the spear's normal attacks hit at. Yep, my HP has not been lowered enough to take that deal. Okay. Funnily enough, those arm guys are actually first introduced as a mini-boss rather than a normal enemy. So you arguably meet the scariest one of those you will ever meet in the entire playthrough as your first experience with them. Which I think is a bit fucking much. Oh, sweet. I'm in the gate room. When the gates spawn, that's pretty convenient. Oh, nice. Actually. I actually really like this area because it's got just a shitload of large enemies. And the beyond and the regular world are one area. Which saves a lot of time that's normally spent hunting between worlds for stuff. Alright, so we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus another 6, so we're looking at 17. We don't actually need all of those to get him up to master rank. His master rank actually comes a few nodes before maxing them out. Which to me seems a bit like it might be an oversight. Since you'd think that max rank on them, which means you get the largest, best stats that you can get for them, would be, you know, when you max them out. But it is actually a little bit beforehand. Because how the stats with your spirits, demons work is basically every stat that you possess, they have a modifier for, and as you increase their rank, those modifiers increase. Alright, right. I forgot his jump attack doesn't play nice with enemies who are lower than you very often. Alright, so these tiny dudes that I'm just chasing everywhere, frantically poking at, there's actually a boss fight against 3-player character-sized versions of them. Well, it's technically a mini-boss, because I don't think they come with health bars as bosses, but you are locked into an arena with them. I think it might actually have been better if they had a shared, like, boss health bar. Because essentially, at the start of the fight, only one of them is actually showing interest in attacking you. And the other two join in once you've depleted a certain amount of the, well, collective health of every enemy in the room. The issue being that means they often only join in the fight long after they're already, one of them is already dead. So you basically never have to deal with all 3 of them at once. Because by the time the 3rd one joins into the fight, you've already probably killed the first one. If not the second one, being mostly dead as well.
この一戦でせい
Also, another thing I like for this Badlands looking area, it's just how many enemies many of these encounters have. Because every time you hit an enemy, you gain a chance. Oh! Was that just a... I'm sorry, give me a second. Yeah, that was just one of the max rank weapons. Or at least, I think max rank. And the summon that's for is called Zephyr. His main thing is that he likes to move, and his attacks gain all sorts of bonuses if you attack while moving. He's also got the fastest movement speed out of any of your weapon types in the game. At, I think, 95% of your default no weapon drawn run speed. That said, well, you'd think that would make him, like, incredible for, like, playing cat and mouse and hit and run with a lot of enemies. He unfortunately has a fairly large hitbox when it comes to, well, his hitbox. So he often ends up taking hits that you may have been able to avoid by just using a smaller character. The second fastest is Regan, the thief guy. Okay, another random place in the sync, or not, in the final sequence of the game. Those debuff mitigation ones I don't really care that much about. So that actually happens fairly regularly, since being manifested increases your chances of landing a critical hit on any character.
魔物がいる。
ご分をもらった覚醒の力を使えば天に無に帰る
That big punching fist thing is actually treated as the boss of the second dungeon in the game. Their primary trait to set them aside from other enemies is that they attack extremely fast. So you often end up trading hits with them. It also helps them when they're attempting to stagger you out of an attack, since they can often just deliver multiple jabs to you in rapid succession. And you'll never guess the gimmick of the type of guy I just killed who, you know, likes to charge across the battlefield. It's literally impossible. You'd never guess that their gimmick is that they charge across the battlefield a lot. Oh, sweet. What kind of benefit did Meteor get? Increased affinity. I know, right? It's such an awesome and unique thing. You definitely wouldn't be able to guess by looking at the fact that they have a massive fucking head. Alright, now we're gonna go zoom. Yep, come on. Gather around, everybody. Okay, why are you awakening so many new traits I can put? Increased chance of procs such as critical hits. Increased critical hit chance on Zev is basically the best thing. Since, you know, every time he scores a critical hit, his attack and defense increase. Oh, well, I'm actually below maximum healing incense. Thanks to the way I'm set up, that doesn't actually happen very often.
父さん助かったぜ。へい任せるぞ。この一戦で。
And I'm back up to max. Unsurprising, there were a lot of large enemies there. That's 2 and 2, not quite enough for the skill I want to buy next. Okay, I'll admit, did not expect to come across a paralysis spewing mushroom. Windmill to keep it back and finish it. And there's some healing incense on the floor back this way, if I recall. Though I could be mistaken. Yeah, I appear to have been mistaken. I do love that, how sometimes if you change between your weapon drawn and your weapon sheath, the game has a little stroke trying to calculate how fast you should be moving. It'll accidentally just make you move way faster in a fairly janky manner. Alright, you wanna play the charging game? We'll play the charging game. I do wish that the two worlds were a bit more different than they are. Because as it stands, one is basically just the other, but with a fancy filter on it. We're getting pretty close to master rank on him. I hope it triggers before those two ailment things, because status ailment protection is really not something that I care about. Because while they can be somewhat annoying, they're not really... I guess they're not really that important. They seem like they're very important early game. Because the... oh god, I think it's the third dungeon boss you face. Primarily fights through moves that inflict poison and paralysis. And status ailments do technically come at a bit of a cost. Oh! I know what area of the place this is now. Just based on the passive effect that is triggering over time in the spirit world. This is the second set of... this is the second floor area of the final dungeon. I can tell that because it has the hit points slowly regenerate, well, quote-unquote, slowly regenerate over time effect on it. No, stay on screen, I'm trying to use you to demonstrate something. As you see how its hit points just randomly recovered by 900. That is the healing over time effect proc. And this is, if I recall, the only area in the game where that particular spirit world effect happens. Alright, we're going downstairs, so the lunge will take me to the moon and back, basically. Okay, that thing's a sight stealer, so I should be able to leave the other world to prevent it from regenning HP faster than I can damage it. And I guess I should explain that. So, enemies cloaked in that mist are known as sight stealers. And in normal dungeons, you have to kill them and then transition between worlds over their corpse to be able to safely enter the spirit world without your vision going black, and any attack you take one-shotting you. And once you do it the first time you go through an area, you don't have to kill them to unlock the spirit world again. However, that also means that when you go back through, you will learn that they appear in both the spirit and the physical worlds at the same time. Which means they're actually... There's an interesting little thing where you can basically pick which world you want to fight them in when you're going back through an area. Though generally their immediate surroundings are devoid of other enemies in the physical world, so trying to fight them in the spirit world generally just makes your life harder. Alright, now. I was really hoping it would only have the span between some of the portals available, but no. We get to do the full-size version. Oh boy. Now, if I recall... Yep, the other portal's right there where I thought it would be. Which is double confirming this is the area I thought it was. Should also explain all the punching guys in the real world. Oh, it's one of those little dudes. Come along, little feller. Just don't need to be scared of us, we're just giant jerks. And if this all tracks properly, the next room over should be a sight stealer. No, it's actually gonna make me buy the basically useless ailment resistances and all that. Oh well, I tried. Alright, that's not the button I wanted to press. Of course it's back down in the lower area. They spawn the gate in. Yep, there's our sight stealer. Which I will probably go fight because they have more HP than normal and every single hit you deal to the enemy is a chance to drop a shade stone for your weapon. Okay. As fun, as cheesy as that would be to just abuse the hell out of for infinite hits and thus infinite stone chances, I actually do want to get to a boss fight sometime this year. Alright, and so fun fact about enemies who are actually spawned by other enemies, they give, at least relative to what you need to level at the level of the area that they're in, basically no EXP, but they still count for drops like shade stones, so they're a good way to farm items without making yourself ridiculously over-leveled. And I still need 2 more stones before my next level up. Or not level up, before his rank goes up. I don't think this room has anything that's gonna oblige me with that desire. No. Because I do know each section of this palace dungeon had one generic stone in it that you could use for purposes of upgrading spirits. Alright, off to... Is the next floor a boss floor, or is it the floor before a boss floor? Well, that's... kind of concerning. Yep, this is a boss floor. And that's not really a boss I had much interest in seeing again. Yeah, so when you fight that thing at the start of the game, it is kind of genuinely frustrating on Maniac mode here, because its missile barrage generally will deal enough damage to out and out kill you. Okay, I don't actually remember what weapon I picked up. Was it a dagger? Yep, it was a dagger. Wait, I'm not sure if I actually wanted to do that or not. So it's going to be another 5 floors before I can exit this place. You know what? I will exit it a different way, because, yeah, no, not feeling that forest area. At least not a post-game level scaled version of it. I guess I can go demonstrate how I did my level grinding and such. Or not level grinding, because I didn't really do level grinding. I actually specifically ground in such a way that I would gain the minimum possible levels while doing it. Okay. That's all the stuff in the other area. Okay, forest. Spot number 2. And so yeah, since I've mentioned that I spent quite a while grinding in this game, I'll demonstrate where and how. So in this forest, if you go far enough this way, it spawns... It has this enemy gate here that will spawn infinite penguins. And so then you kill the infinite penguins. And each time you hit one of the penguins, you have a chance to drop a weapon shade stone, which will allow you to buy skills on the skill tree for the given weapon. And there is literally no limit to the number of enemies that these things will spawn. So if you're enough of a loser like I am, you can literally just stand in front of one of these things for, say, 12 hours on a Sunday. That one damages nearby enemies, which isn't bad. And he hit master rank. Oh yeah, I am actually hitting slightly harder. Now Regan, his deal is if an enemy hits him while he's charging up a skill, he delivers a counter version of that. He delivers a counter attack during which he's got a chance to resist, or not resist, but ignore enemy damage, and he deals extra damage to enemies who are in the middle of an attack. Aisha, we've been over. She does really excel at increasing your affinity gauge quickly. Since she's the first spirit you gain, she is extremely good at it. And then you got Izuna, who's my favorite, who specializes in back attacks. And these penguin guys actually turn too quickly for her to get one. But basically, if you hit an enemy in the back with her, she gains a bunch of buffs. Increased speed, attack, defense, crit chance. And then she's got a passive in her skill tree. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember the effect. Yep, guilt, increase attack based on the number of active buffs. Which makes her hit even harder with back and side attacks. Now let's go to the other ones and give each of them a little brief showcase. Alright, we'll start with Will. Alright, I don't have instant swap unlocked on them. Will is one of the slow demons. He's slow, but he hits pretty hard considering I've put very little effort into him. He likes to launch enemies around. It's really hard for enemies to stagger, and his gimmick is you can charge up his skills to deal extra damage, and as your health decreases, he gains buffs to increase his stats. And Gavrod is a guy who guards, and when he guards attacks, he tends to reflect damage back on enemies. He's got a shield cannon, which the normal attacks are shield swipes. And then a lot of his special moves involve the cannon part of that weapon. And then you've got this move, which is kinda silly, because he just sets up a giant dome of death around himself. Yeah, he likes to block enemies and then attack. This is Dia. She's primarily big on support and area of effect attacks. She can jump, and then she falls slower than Zav and the other jump characters do. She's got a shitload of AoE abilities. And the longest range on any normal attack in the game. Muska is... when you use her feature, you spawn a barrier that, once you build her skill tree out enough, gives you a bunch for being in it. When you activate skills, she summons a bunch of floating units, which, when you put up your barrier, also give you buffs based on how many of them you have. When you first start using her, she seems like she's completely useless because her barrier does nothing without passives fueling it. And neither do her devices. And I'll just pop Izana back on since she's my favorite. Now for the last three. This is Trez. He's very good at trash sweeping. He does have some fairly decent attacks that are more focused. He's also got a jump, but if you attack and hold it during his, he'll do a glide down, but if you don't, you just ping the enemy from in the air. Then you've got Zephyr. He's the fastest of your demons. His attacks move you around rather a lot. And if you hit enemies if you launch attacks while moving, he has a chance of inflicting various status effects on enemies. He can double jump and perform a dive slam. And a fair amount of his moves have integrated movement in them. If I could have a fifth spirit, he would be the character in that slot. And then we have Jax, the slowest spirit in the game. His only unique attack is his regular attack. Which is a sizable area nuke. But it pins you in place for a very long time. His primary gimmick is that he can use skills from multiple different characters. Using X to swap between the multiple skill trees, or between multiple skill pages. He's extremely powerful in theory, but in terms of usability, he's a fucking mess. With that little showcase of your various spirits, I think I'm about done. Have a good night, everybody.